Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, is Justin Fields trending in the direction of being the Bears quarterback for 2024? We're going to dive into that. I set some benchmarks a few weeks ago that I wanted him to reach over his final 7 games returning from injury. We'll do a little check-in and see if he's on track to reach those. But first, big round of applause. Thank you guys for helping us reach 81,000 subscribers during our Sunday stream. You guys are the best. If you're new here, or maybe you've been here a while and you just haven't turned on notifications yet, I would encourage you to do so. That way you know exactly when we go live. You get notified right when we publish a video. You click the bell, you select all, and you'll be good to go. And why wouldn't you? Daily Chicago Bears videos for 100% free. Thank you to our new subscribers, and if you haven't joined us yet, please do so. It's 100% free. Okay, let's get into our Fields check-in here. 3 games into this final 7 games since he returned from his thumb injury, and I want to go kind of metric by metric here as I gave 5 benchmarks that I wanted Fields to reach or do over this final 7 games. My first one was this, and again, I set out these guidelines before that first Lions game when he came back. I wanted to see Fields have at least a 2-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio. So where is he? Well, he's not quite there. He's at 1.5. 3 touchdowns, 2 turnovers. The 2 turnovers were those loose fumbles in Minnesota in the fourth quarter. To his credit, he bounced back from those and led the game-winning field goal drive on that big downfield pass to DJ Moore. So he was able to erase those turnovers and secure a win, but still want to see a better ratio. 1.5, plenty of time here, but like his next touchdown without a turnover, he'd be at 2-to-1. So hopefully he gets there. Now, the good news is 0 interceptions in the 3 games since he's been back. That he has not put the ball in harm's way very much as a passer. Has put it on the turf a couple times. That's got to get cleaned up. Fumbling's been a big problem for him throughout his career, but not quite there yet, so that was number 1. Number 2, stop taking so many sacks. And not really just the number itself. It's more about the sack percentage. And what is sack percentage, Harrison? Well, if you have 10 dropbacks and you get sacked once, that's a 10% sack percentage. You want to be in the single digits. Like, you don't necessarily have to be like super low. Like Bagent was actually very low, but that's because he's getting the ball out super fast. He's not challenging teams downfield. Joe Burrow, for example, he's in the high single digits. He likes to hold the ball a little longer, come up with those big plays. So, you want to be at least, if you're under 9%, I'd say, for Fields' play style, you'd live with that. He's been sacked 8 times in 3 games, so less than 3 times per game. It's like, okay, that's pretty good. But again, what's the percentage? That's what I'm looking at. He's been at or near the bottom throughout his career in his first 3 seasons before coming back from this injury. Well, good news. That's improving. He's improved 5%. Now, 12.9% is ridiculously high. I believe that was last in the NFL for qualified starters. 7.9% though, that's a big improvement. That would not be last. I'd have to go look at the exact where that would be. I want to say that's probably around 20th, 22nd, something like that. And again, he's not going to be top 10 in this category because we know how he plays. He likes to run around sometimes, make plays with his feet. He's looking for the big play. You got to pick your spots when you do that, and this would suggest he is picking his spots a little bit better. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a work in progress. There's still times yesterday, like one of the 3 sacks he took yesterday, I mean, Rolly and I are both sitting there. It's like, dude, you have got to throw that football away. Like, he's just waiting. And then he takes a sack. It's like, okay, throw that out of bounds. If you don't see someone downfield, you can't take that negative play. Like, all sacks are not created equal, and that was definitely a QB sack. There's no doubt about it. I think part of the improvement is probably this is the best O-line he's played behind too. So it all works together. You want that sack percentage number to keep improving. Again, I don't want it to improve all the way to like 3% because then I think you're getting rid of the ball too quickly. Somewhere between 6 and 9%, if he's sitting in that range, I think that would be very, very good for his play style. Okay, Prize Picks, today's sponsor, Daily Fantasy made easy with Prize Picks. You guys want to turn $10 into $250? You can do it with Prize Picks because they do player entries anywhere from 2 to 6 players, and if you do a 6-player entry and hit on one, you win up to 25 times your money on an entry. $10 turns into $250, 100 turns into $2,500. You could also do 2, 3-player entries and do less bang for your buck, but obviously safer entries where you can connect more easily. I've got a 4-player entry for the Monday night doubleheader on Monday night. If you're watching later in the week on Tuesday, etc., this was my entry. Maybe come back in the comments and let me know. You can either boo me or cheer me if I won or lost. If you're watching on Monday, well, here's what I got tonight. Devon Achane, I think he's going to find the end zone. I like the Moors tonight. Derrick Henry, I think he's going to go more than 57.5 rushing yards. Jordan Love, I hate to say it, he's been playing pretty well. Give me the more on his passing. And then Saquon Barkley, the Giants got to get him going. They got to run the football. Tommy DeVito is not going to carry that offense. So give me the more there. 10 to win 100, 4-player entry. You can win up to 10 times your money. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Our code CLNS gets you a deposit match up to $100 at sign up. So use our link, use our promo code, make money today. Link is in the comments and in the description. My third benchmark for what I wanted to see out of Justin Fields over his final 7 games. Again, we're 3 games into it. Play all 7, win 4 of them. Well, he's played all 3, hasn't missed a snap, and he's won 2 of them. You look at the Bears' past 3 games, should be 3-0. They melted down largely due to a defensive collapse in Week 11, 31-26. Remember, they were up 26-14 with 4:15 to go. Still mind-boggling that they lost that game. Grinded one out in Minnesota, 12-10. The 2 Fields fumbles hurt, but rallied them on that final drive to get into field goal range, and then just dismantled Detroit this week after a bad second quarter. Shut them out in the second half, 18-0. Won that one 28-13. And look, I just think this team's playing well enough right now. If Fields does play all 7, which he needs to do, again, his health is a big part of this evaluation. I do think the Bears will win at least 4. I like how they're playing. The schedule lines up. Like, worst case scenario to me, if he's healthy and the defense keeps playing like this, they'll go 2-2 over their final 4, which means he would have gone 4-3. I think 5-2, 6-1 is still somewhat on the table, especially 5-2. So, he's on track to do that. Obviously hasn't completed that mission yet, but definitely in a good spot. How many more games will the Bears win? You had to predict it. 4 games left. They're going to win 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Remember, they got the Browns on the road, Cardinals, then Falcons at home. Both warm weather teams coming to Chicago in December. Then a trip at Lambeau Field. How many more wins for the Bears? Predict it for us down in the comments. Benchmark number 4 I wanted to see. Complete 65% of your passes or more. That percentage came down a little bit yesterday. I think he completed about 58% against Detroit. But overall, he's still above the number there. 67% almost, 66.7 in the 3 games since returning. So that's been good. On the year, he's just under 64%. That's up from his prior 2 seasons as well. So, look, say what you want about Justin Fields. He can't throw the ball. He's a running back. He's improved as a passer this year. There's no debating that. The tape shows you that. The raw numbers show you that. Now, is he a flawless passing quarterback? Absolutely not. He still misses some throws you'd like to see him make. He still sometimes doesn't pull the trigger when he should. But there's been improvement. There's simply no doubt. And then number 5, and he had already kind of started this with before the injury, but it was keep building that chemistry with DJ Moore. And this, more than anything else, might be the one that's clear. Like, he's absolutely doing this. I mean, just look at DJ Moore's numbers with Fields versus Bagent. He's played about 8.5 games with Fields, 4.5 with Bagent, because Bagent started 4 games, came in the third quarter of that Vikings game when he got injured initially. And look, the numbers are clear. I mean, he averages just under 100 yards a game when he plays with Justin, yards per catch over 15. All 7 of his receiving touchdowns are with Fields. With Bagent, it's not like he fell off a cliff, but he did fall off considerably just because those big plays weren't in the offense. 57 yards per game, 10 yards per catch. It definitely did not look the same. And this is what I found interesting for Justin Fields in this DJ Moore combination. Fields, when targeting Moore, 52 of 68. That's very good. Over 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, no picks, and a passer rating of 146. That really stood out to me. And I saw this on the broadcast yesterday. Fox was kind of going through their best QB receiver combinations based on passer rating. DJ Moore, Justin Fields, number 1. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. You don't think of the Bears being some high-octane passing offense, but again, it does point to the improvement. It does point to what getting a number 1 receiver can do for a young quarterback. And to be number 1, that says something to me. That's why, to me, like, if you get a Marvin Harrison in here to pair with DJ Moore, if you want to keep Justin, like, I don't see why Justin's not going to keep improving, because after DJ Moore, Cole Kmet's clearly their second best option. Him and Mooney haven't been on the same page, but that connection with DJ is there, and that's been very fun to see. And look, DJ Moore, he's voiced out his support for Justin. He said, we want him here. He said this last week when talking about his quarterback. We want him here. Lucas Patrick today, if you're watching on Monday, hey, the world is saying what kind of player and person he is. We have his back. Like, these players want to play with him. I do think that carries weight when you make this evaluation if you are Ryan Poles. So just to recap it all, this is where we sit right now. At least 2-to-1 touchdown turnover ratio. Not there yet. That's why it's highlighted red, 1.5. Still think that can happen. Sack percentage down 5%, so that's definitely a green check mark there. Playoff 7 games, win 4. Obviously that hasn't happened yet, but he's on pace to do that. He hasn't suffered an injury, and he's 2-1, which means he's on pace to get to 4 wins. He is completing over 65% of his passes, and the chemistry with DJ's been there. He's almost at 300 yards in 3 games, almost 100 a game since returning. 2 touchdowns for DJ as well, so his production has ticked back up after it ticked down when playing with Tyson Bagent. So all of that being said, do you want Justin Fields to be the Bears starting quarterback in 2024? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I see both sides of it still. I have not made a final decision, but I like what I'm seeing. I do. I don't know if Justin Fields is ever going to be a flawless passing quarterback, but if he keeps making these incremental improvements, if they keep stacking wins, that shows you can win with him. So we'll see. Final month is going to be huge. Y for yes, N for no. Do you want Justin Fields to be the Bears starter next year? All right, guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you made it to the end of this episode, appreciate that. That makes you a real one. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's youtube.com/BearsNow.